City is cleaning up migrant camps where thousands were living after being released by Border Patrol. Now, our next guests want the president to see what is actually happening. We've been having a fascinating conversation. It's already begun this morning. Yes. It's Guadalupe Giner. She is El Paso County Judge candidate, and Rosie, a longtime El Paso resident. Rosie is not sharing her last name. I didn't make a mistake here. And we're going to get to why in just one moment Rosie is not sharing her last name. But let's just pick up what we were talking about a few moments ago, ladies, if we might. You both are essentially lifelong El Paso residents, both born just over there.
Correct.
In Juarez.
Yes.
And both, I think, made a real strong point to me, American citizens, that your families went about this process the right way. How did your family go about it, Rosie?
My parents are from Mexico. I was brought here to Segundo Barrio when I was 4 years old. My parents got sponsored by their employers.
And Guadalupe?
Well, my dad joined the U.S. Army. They came first as residents, legal residents, joined the U.S. Army, and as a result of that, our entire family was able to become an American citizen.
And you were both making the point to me, which you're first-generation immigrants, and there's a presumption about the point of view you hold that you feel like is completely inaccurate.
Absolutely. You know, there's an assumption that because we came here and immigrated legally that we're okay with this illegal immigration, and we are not. We are okay with immigration. That's how we came. It's part of the American dream. We understand the want and the need to come to the United States of America. We're proud Americans.
Yes, we are.
But we want it to be done legally. And the assumption by a lot of people, this administration and our congresswoman, that we're okay with what's happening to our city right now is absolutely outrageous.
And Rosie, help me understand what is happening to your city. What changes have you seen take place?
Okay, there's a lot of criminal activity in my neighborhood. As soon as we got that 2,800, migrants coming in, it started. In October, I had a trafficking ring going on of human smuggling in my parking lot, in my apartment complex. November, a house got busted for trafficking migrants across the street. December 23rd, there was a fight between a gang of a group of Salvadorian and Venezuelan guys. They got arrested. On the New Year's Eve, a guy came from out of town and started pointing a gun at the migrants by the church. He got caught the next day. And till this day, as we speak, there's still human smuggling in my neighborhood.
And you were telling me that's why, I mentioned it a moment ago, that's why you don't want to share your last name.
Correct. Because I'm like right there and it's happening and everybody, the neighbors are seeing it and we're scared. We're still not out of the woods. This is not okay.
And you feel like you could be targeted?
We can, because we're like right there on that same street, and people are scared. There's a lot of elderly people, tenants that live in my apartment complex that are scared, and we fear for our, for our safety. This is not over.
And Guadalupe, you were talking to me about the way this city has changed in your lifetime, but the minute Rosie mentioned to you where she lives, you said, oh my, you've had a lot of trouble over there.
Yes. There are two types of immigration, illegal immigration going on. One type of people, they're coming through and they're asking for asylum, they're processed, and the NGOs are taking care of them. And then you have what they call the EWIs, entry without inspection. These are the people, they're running across our border highways and our I-10s, and they're getting run over by El Pasoans. Can you imagine how traumatic that is to be going 60 miles an hour and come to a full stop because you see 5, 10, 30 illegal immigrants running across? You have to stop. And the other thing we're seeing is kind of dovetailing on what Rosie said. In downtown El Paso, they're struggling to recover from COVID. And now our businesses are getting phone calls from residents asking, is it safe to come down to downtown? And it's not, because just like Rosie said, we've seen an increase in crime. Our police department, wonderful police department, we're stretched thin. Border Patrol, we love you guys. They're stretched thin. Now you have a tent city. I'm sorry.
No, please.
Is that okay if I continue?
Yeah.
You have a tent city being set up, a soft-sided processing facility in northeast El Paso. No one consulted residents that are right across that highway. It's going up. Obviously, they're planning for this to continue or they wouldn't be constructing it. And we just feel completely unheard by our mayor, our county judge, and our Congresswoman Escobar.
To be clear, this is vastly different than what you both have experienced. We were joking. I'm not going to ask them how old they are. But you've been in El Paso for a long time.
Absolutely.
This is vastly different than what you've experienced in your life.
Absolutely, yes.
I've never seen this happen.
No.
Never. And I was here. I migrated here since I was 4 years old. That's more than 50 years.
And quickly, we have to go, but I'm just curious, what have you seen happen over the last couple of days in preparation for the trip from the president?
I think that, well, they cleaned up downtown. They were telling them to take off their cams and leave, and they were cleaning up. I think that is absolutely not right. You do not clean up for the president, okay? The president, this is the president's fault, not our fault. So why would we clean up, you know? So no, leave it like it is. Let him come and see for himself the real picture, you know? He needs to know what's going on. Otherwise, he's gonna come and say, oh, well, there's no crisis. Right. No, that's not right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cleaning up for the president, but not for the people that live there.
Exactly. It has to be El Paso residents first.